G'day, I'm Warwick Schiller, and recently on YouTube I put out a video and it was, I said, before you ask a horse a question, they've got to know the answer to the question, and a lot of people were a little confused about that, but I'll try to explain to you a little bit with what I'm doing with this young horse. I've been riding him for about 6 months right now, I suppose, and I've only just started working on something that has multiple facets to it, that's very involved, and that, I've been working on a lot of things that have multiple facets, but this thing I've just started working on is having him go forward and laterally at the same time, okay, like that. And I want him to go forward and laterally with his hip first, like that, off my right leg. I'll just do it towards the camera so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to walk in a straight line towards the camera, and I like him to move forward and laterally, so diagonally, with his hip leading and his nose on the same side as his hip, which is quite technical. I'm going to walk along here, just lay that rein and have that hip go, and his body do that right there, just off my outside leg. Now if you see the reins, they're just in my fingertips, so the contact with his mouth is working well. He's not pulling the reins out of my hand, and I've only just started working on it. And a lot of people struggle with their horses for years trying to get something like that. Well, the reason he can do that, I didn't ask the question to that till he basically already knew the answer now. So how does he know the answer to that? Well, take anything you do and take it and divide it into two. I asked him to go forward and laterally at the same time. So, ask yourself a question. Can my horse go forward? Okay, well that part works good. You just got to break it down to pieces. Can my horse go forward? Yes. Can my horse go laterally with his nose and his hip on the same side? Because he's got to do all those things together. So can my horse basically side pass with his nose and his hip on the same side like that, just off my leg? And he seems to be able to do that. Okay, so how did we get him to do that? Well, there's two parts to that too. There's quite a few parts to that. But when he's going over off of my leg, laterally like that, I'm also controlling him a little with my hands, so he's responding to my hands. So what two parts has he got there? If I pick up on these reins, he responds, his whole body responds softly to my hands, which he did in every one of those things you just saw right there. Okay, so he can do that. He can also, like I said, he can side pass off my leg. So where did he learn to do those two things? Well, cut them in half. How did he learn to respond softly to my hands? Like that? Well, he learnt softly to respond to my hand one rein at a time. I touch this rein with my fingertips, he responds softly to it. I touch this rein with my fingertips, he responds softly to it. So that's a part of it. Another part of it with getting off your leg is, if I slide my leg back here, I can disengage him like that. I can have him step over behind like that off my leg, and I can do that on both sides. So if you want to reverse engineer the whole thing and start at the beginning, I got him to where he could do that and that. Those parts worked good. And this would have been the first day I rode him. Can I do that and disengage him? Get him off my leg? Yep, that bit worked. Can I get this bit to work over here? Yes, that bit worked. Okay. Then as time went on, can you go forward? Yes. At some point in time I would have taught him to back up softly. Then at some point in time I would have taught him to go forward and back up softly at the same time, which has got a funny name. It's called collection. So when I close my fingers here, he starts to come back. I add leg, he goes forward into that contact and gets round with his body. So he learnt to do that. Okay, he would have learnt to side pass in a different place along the fence at some point in time, and then I started adding those two together. So when I take contact there, he's responding to that. He's responding to my leg like that. He can go forward into contact, so he can have contact and go forward and be soft. He can have contact and go sideways, and be, for the most part, soft. And so by the time we get to the bit we're talking about here, it's pretty simple. All we have to do is add all those pieces together. And like I said, I've been riding for about 6 months, and I've only just tried this the last couple of days. Add all those pieces together, have a slight bit of contact on my reins, have my leg back here, pushing him over there, he's going forward, and there it is. It should all work at once. So, I know that's not much of a training video, isn't how to teach that, but what I'm trying to tell you is you need to take a lot of really good little pieces and start putting them together one at a time before you add them all together and make something complex like that. So anyway, hope that helps. See you guys next time.